Have you ever asked yourself how long you've been learning English? Maybe it's been 6 months, 1 year, or even 3 years. Perhaps you've invested countless hours, energy, and even money into this journey. You study vocabulary every day, you've mastered grammar rules, and you listen to English while cooking, commuting, or even before bed. You read books, watch movies, complete exercises, and feel like you've made real progress. But then one day, a foreigner asks you a very simple question, "What's your name?" And you freeze. Everything you've learned vanishes in an instant. It's a terrible feeling. You stand there in silence, trying desperately to search your mind for something to say. But your mouth refuses to cooperate. It won't open. It's as if it has never learned English at all. You feel embarrassed, lose your confidence, and wonder, why can't I speak? You start to doubt yourself. Maybe I don't have a gift for languages. Maybe I'm not as smart as others. Maybe I started too late, and now it's too late to catch up. But the truth is, it's none of that. The problem isn't with you. It's not about your intelligence, not about your age, and definitely not about your level of effort. The real issue is this. Your mouth has never been trained to speak English. Your brain may understand English, but your mouth is still a stranger to it. Imagine wanting to play the piano, but instead of touching the keys, you only read books about how to play. You understand all the theory, you know where the notes are, and you even know what chords sound good. But when you place your hands on the piano, you can't even play the simplest tune. Why? Because your fingers were never trained. They have no muscle memory, no reaction. Your mouth is exactly the same. Your lips, your tongue, your jaw, your throat, these are muscles. And if you don't train them, they become weak, slow, and unresponsive. If you want to speak English, you need more than just understanding. You need action. You need to speak out loud every day. You need to get used to how it feels when English sounds leave your lips. I know this because I was once in your shoes. I was good at English on paper, but silent in real life. I could read well, I could write decently, but when it came time to speak, my hands would shake, and my mind went blank. I felt defeated. I thought maybe English just wasn't for me. But everything changed the moment I started practicing speaking for real. Not in my head, but with my mouth, aloud, even with the simplest sentences. I started by speaking alone in front of the mirror. I repeated the sentences I had learned. I recorded myself and listened to my own voice. I didn't care if it sounded weird. I didn't care if I made mistakes. All I cared about was whether my mouth was saying the words or whether it was finally making English sounds. And then something magical began to happen. My mouth got used to English. The sounds that once felt impossible now flowed naturally. The fear of making mistakes disappeared. In its place came confidence, flexibility. My reaction time improved. I started speaking faster, smoother, and more naturally. And that's when I realized I could master spoken English as long as I kept training my mouth every single day. You can do it too. You don't need to be perfect to start speaking. In fact, only when you start speaking will you get better. If you want to speak English fluently, you need to teach your mouth all over again. You have to train it. You have to force it to speak. That's the only way to turn knowledge into skill. And that's exactly what I'm going to help you do in the next part. Are you waiting until you're ready to speak English? Waiting for perfect pronunciation, flawless grammar, and an impressive vocabulary before you open your mouth? Then I'm sorry to tell you, you'll be waiting forever. Readiness doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. You won't feel ready until you start doing it day after day, even when it's messy. Think about swimming. You can read every book, watch every video, and understand every technique. But until you jump into the water and flail your arms, gasp for air, and maybe swallow a little water, you won't truly learn how to swim. It's the same with English. Don't wait to become fluent before you speak. Speak, even if it's ugly. Speak, even if it's broken. Speak when you stutter, when you pause, when you fumble, because every time you use your mouth, you're getting closer to fluency. Nobody wakes up and runs a marathon on day one. But if you walk a little every day, you'll eventually cross that finish line. Your mouth is a machine, and if you don't use it, it stays idle. You have to push it to work. You have to force it to speak English sounds. Start small. Stand in front of a mirror and say a simple sentence. No one needs to hear it. Record yourself. Listen back. Cringe if you must. That cringe is growth. Understand this. Making mistakes isn't failure. Mistakes are the first sign you're moving forward. The more mistakes you make, the faster you learn. Every error is a doorway to improvement. Don't be afraid to be awkward. Don't be afraid of being judged. Everyone who speaks well today once sounded terrible. Everyone who's confident now once trembled with fear. They all started at 0. So can you. The question isn't whether you have talent. The real question is, do you have the courage to begin? Speak even when you don't feel ready, because the only path to confidence is through action. One day, you'll feel your voice grow stronger, your words flow smoother, your fear fade away, and you'll realize your mouth was always capable, it was just waiting for your command. Have you ever listened to someone speak English so smoothly, so naturally, so effortlessly that you stopped and thought, how do they talk like that? It's not because they're smarter than you. It's because they've trained differently. And one of the most powerful techniques they use is called shadowing. Shadowing isn't some trendy language hack. It's a classic method and one of the most effective ways to unlock your speaking ability, connect your ears, brain, and mouth, and finally get English out of your head and into the real world through your voice. Here's how it works. Pick a short English audio clip, about 30 to 60 seconds long. Choose something you enjoy, a powerful movie scene, a podcast with great energy, or a YouTube video with clear native pronunciation. Then, listen and speak along immediately. Don't pause. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Don't translate. Just copy what you hear like a shadow. When you shadow, you're not just learning vocabulary. You're absorbing the rhythm of the language. You're tuning into how native speakers raise their voice with excitement, lower it for seriousness, pause for drama. You begin to feel the natural flow of English, something no textbook can teach. And the magic is, your mouth starts to get used to speaking English unconsciously. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's all it takes. No long hours, no memorizing phrases. Just consistent daily practice, and your mouth will begin to react faster. You'll speak more clearly, and most importantly, you'll stop being afraid of opening your mouth. Why is it so powerful? Because this is how babies learn language. They don't start with grammar rules. They listen and imitate. They echo what they hear hundreds of times, and slowly, language becomes instinct. You can do the same with English as long as you train like a child would, through repetition and imitation. Don't worry if you mess up at first. Don't panic if you can't keep up. That's normal. The key is to stick with it every day. Choose audio you love so it stays fun. Record yourself and track your progress. After a few weeks, you'll notice your mouth won't feel stuck anymore. It's warming up. It's waking up. It's becoming part of your English voice. Shadowing doesn't just improve your speaking. It boosts your listening, thinking speed, and confidence. You'll stop translating in your head. You'll start speaking in full, natural phrases from memory, from instinct. Try it today. Just 5 minutes. Pick a video you love. Press play and speak along. It may feel awkward at first, but over time, you'll fall in love with how your mouth catches up, how your voice matches the rhythm, how you sound more and more like a real English speaker. Shadowing isn't a lesson, it's a journey. And once you begin, you won't want to stop, because every time you shadow, you're not just practicing English, you're turning English into a living part of you. Let me ask you something. What truly makes you want to speak? It's not those textbook questions. It's not the rehearsed speeches about climate change or fiscal policies. It's when you're excitedly talking about the movie you just watched, when you're describing your favorite dish with real passion, when you speak about a friend you miss deeply, your eyes light up and your voice trembles a little. That's real language. That's living communication. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that to speak English well, you must talk about complicated, high-level topics. No one expects you to analyze international politics or explain macroeconomics in perfect English. In fact, the closer the topic is to your heart, the further you can go. Here's the magic. When you talk about something you truly love, it doesn't feel like learning anymore. It feels like living, like expressing yourself in a whole new way. Do you have a dog? Try talking about it in English. What color are its eyes? Does it love to sleep on the couch? What do you do together every morning? Just a few simple sentences like that, and suddenly English becomes part of your life. Do you enjoy cooking? Talk about how you prepare your favorite dish. It doesn't matter if your grammar isn't perfect. It doesn't matter if the words are simple. What matters is that you feel connected to what you're saying. When you talk about something you love, you speak with emotion. Your tone changes. Your eyes light up. Your mouth becomes more expressive. And strangely enough, English stops being the enemy. It becomes your bridge to share who you are. Many people are afraid to speak English because they think they're not good enough yet. But nobody is perfect in the beginning. Just like a child learning to speak, they stutter, they mess up grammar, their pronunciation is off, but they keep talking. Day by day, the language becomes theirs. You are the same. Don't wait until you're perfect. Start with the simplest thing. Start with what makes your heart beat faster. One great method is this. Every day, write 3 sentences in English about something you love. Maybe it's about today's weather, the dress you just bought, the song you're listening to. Then, read those sentences aloud at least 5 times. But don't just read. Read with real feeling. Imagine you're talking to your best friend. Let your voice reflect your joy, your curiosity, your excitement. You can record yourself and listen back. At first, you might feel awkward, but over time, you'll get used to your own voice. You'll hear your progress. You'll notice, hey, my mouth is getting more comfortable with English. It's not so stiff anymore. I'm not so afraid anymore. And that's a powerful shift. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't fear sounding weird. True freedom comes when you allow yourself to be imperfect. Every time you dare to speak, you break a wall inside your mind. Every single sentence, no matter how short or simple, is progress. And here's the best part. When you talk about what you love, you'll never get bored. You'll want to practice every day. Speaking English won't feel like a chore anymore. It'll feel like something you want to do because it brings joy, because it represents who you are. Learning a language is not about memorizing vocabulary or grammar rules. Learning a language is about learning how to live in another tongue. And you only truly live in English when you let your heart speak. Start today. Talk about what you love. Share a story that matters to you. And let English become a part of who you are. The 1 minute a day habit, a surprisingly simple way to start speaking English. If you feel like you're too busy to speak English for just 1 minute a day, then maybe you're also too busy to actually make progress. This tiny habit may sound simple, but it holds the power to break through your biggest communication barriers. The best part is, you don't need to be perfect from the beginning. You just need to start. And that's the key. This exercise is very easy to do. Each day, pick one simple topic about yourself or your daily life. For example, talk about what you had for breakfast today, how you're feeling right now, or who you miss the most at this moment. You don't need to discuss academic topics or big world issues. You just need to speak about something that feels familiar and emotional to you. Because when you speak from real emotion, the words will flow naturally without pressure, without fear. After choosing a topic, set a countdown timer for exactly 1 minute and start talking. The most important rule is this: do not stop. Keep speaking no matter what. Even if you repeat the same word over and over again, even if what you say makes no sense, just keep going. Don't check your grammar in your head. Don't worry if you're right or wrong. What you're training here is the coordination between your brain and your mouth and building your comfort with expressing thoughts in English. There is only one rule: do not stay silent. Just speak. Even if your words are silly, or you say the same sentence 5 times, or you get stuck and say, "I don't know what to say," again and again, that's okay. As long as you're speaking, you're building fluency. In those 60 seconds, you are practicing flexibility, speed, and most of all, courage to break the fear. At first, you may feel awkward. You may feel like a child learning to speak for the first time. You might stumble over your words, run out of ideas, or keep repeating phrases like, "Today I feel, today I feel." But that's a good sign. It means you're practicing the right way. It means you're starting to connect English with your real emotions. If you do this consistently every day, within just 1 week, you'll notice you're less hesitant to speak. English won't feel like a scary, foreign thing anymore. You'll begin to develop faster responses when thinking of words to say. More importantly, your fear of making mistakes will shrink. After 1 month, you might surprise yourself. You'll find that your mouth moves more smoothly, your ideas come out more easily, and your confidence in English conversations will grow. You won't be so shy when speaking anymore because you've trained yourself to talk every single day. What's exciting is that once you build this habit, 1 minute won't feel like enough. You'll want to talk more, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and eventually you might speak for 10 minutes straight about a simple topic without any preparation. At that point, you'll realize that you've truly broken through the language barrier you once thought was impossible to cross. This isn't just a language practice. It's a journey to build confidence, overcome fear, and unlock a new version of yourself. A version that's not afraid to speak up in English, not afraid to make mistakes, and willing to express thoughts and feelings freely. Even if you're only talking about the little things in life, that's exactly how fluency begins, one small step at a time. You don't need fancy tools, expensive courses, or a perfect study plan. All you need is a timer, a simple idea, and a little courage to start speaking. Commit to just 1 minute a day. You'll be amazed by what changes after just 1 month. You'll realize you can do it as long as you're willing to begin. And if you're truly serious about improving your spoken English, there's no easier or more effective exercise than this 1 minute a day habit. Speak out loud, speak clearly, and speak with emotion. Treat it as a game, a personal challenge, and a way to train your inner strength. Start today. Don't wait until you feel ready, because you may never feel ready. Speak first, and the readiness will follow. Let me know if you want me to turn this into a podcast script with expressive voice tone or generate an AI voice version for your video. I'd be happy to help. An inspirational story. Omar and Sarah. Have you ever felt like English is an unbreakable wall? You may have studied for years, memorized vocabulary, mastered grammar, but when it's time to speak, everything just vanishes. Your mind goes blank, your mouth freezes, and your heart pounds like a drum. If you've been through this, you're not alone. Omar and Sarah felt the same way, but they overcame it not through talent or genius, but through small actions, repeated daily, with quiet courage. Omar is a young man from Egypt. He spent 4 years studying English in school. He could read well, write fairly decently, but when it came to speaking, he was stuck. Every time he faced a foreigner, his throat tightened, his mind went blank, and not a single full sentence would come out. He believed English was for people smarter than him. Every failure convinced him that maybe he just didn't have the speaking gene. One day, by chance, Omar came across a short video about a technique called shadowing, where you listen and instantly repeat what you hear, mimicking tone, rhythm, and emotion without worrying about full comprehension. It sounded too simple to be real. No grammar rules, no translation, just repeat. He doubted it, but he had nothing to lose, so he tried. Every morning, he picked a short movie clip or podcast, listened, and spoke along immediately. He didn't stop to correct himself. He just echoed the sounds, over and over. Alongside this, he practiced another habit, 1 minute speaking. He chose a simple topic like, what did I eat this morning? Or how do I feel today? Or who do I miss right now? Then he set a timer for 1 minute and forced himself to speak nonstop without pausing. It didn't matter if he repeated words, made mistakes, or said nonsense. The only rule was, don't stop talking. At first, he stammered. He repeated phrases. His tongue tangled up, but he kept going. He refused to let fear win again. Within 2 weeks, his mouth began to move more naturally. After a month, he responded faster to English without translating in his head. And after just 2 months, something incredible happened. He could finally hold a real conversation with native speakers. No more panic. No more blank stares. Words flowed with ease. For the first time, he felt free, like someone released from invisible chains. Then there's Sarah, a young woman from Japan. She grew up hearing people say that Japanese speakers couldn't pronounce English like Americans, and for a long time, she believed it. She felt her accent was too strong, her intonation too flat, her voice too far from anything she heard in American shows. She tried to speak, but when she heard her voice in recordings, she was ashamed. She would quickly delete them. embarrassed by her own sound. But something inside her shifted. Instead of running away, she began to face her fear. Every day, she recorded herself speaking about simple emotional topics, not essays or formal sentences, but real feelings. How her day went, what she dreamed about, what made her happy or sad. She would listen to each recording with full attention. Slowly, gently, she corrected her mistakes. She didn't aim for perfection. She aimed for progress. She was patient. She knew fluency wasn't a race. She wasn't trying to impress anyone overnight. 5 minutes a day became her ritual. Some days she felt lazy, other days exhausted, but she always pressed record. Even when her voice cracked or her grammar slipped, she didn't stop. She kept speaking because she knew every word brought her closer to confidence. 3 months later, she applied for a job at an international company. The entire interview was in English. She passed with flying colors, not because her English was perfect, but because she sounded clear, confident, and authentic. Her voice told a story of commitment. Behind that calm conversation was 100 messy recordings and 100 tiny corrections, made with love and effort. Neither Omar nor Sarah was born gifted. They didn't start with perfect accents or huge vocabularies. But they chose courage. They didn't wait until they were ready to speak. They spoke first, then became ready. They didn't fear mistakes. They didn't wait for permission. And that's what made the difference. If you're still reading this, chances are you felt like them. And here's the truth. You don't have to wait another day. You don't need a miracle. You just need a minute. 1 minute to speak. 1 minute clip to shadow. One small step taken daily with intention. Let your voice be shaky. Let your grammar be messy. Just speak. Each word you say is a brick laid on the path to fluency. Speak when you're unsure. Speak when you're afraid. Speak when you think you sound weird. Because that's exactly how fluency is born, in the silence between fear and bravery, where your voice begins to rise. Don't wait until you're perfect to begin. Begin now, and perfection will slowly come to meet you. You've probably experienced this feeling before. Every time you're about to open your mouth to speak English, a flood of worries hits you all at once. Is my pronunciation correct? Is my grammar wrong? Will people laugh at me? And so you choose the familiar option, silence. But that silence is quietly stealing so many things from you. The chance to improve, the chance to connect, the chance to transform your life. The truth is, if you keep waiting until you're perfect to start speaking, you'll never begin. Because that feeling of being ready doesn't come from memorizing more grammar rules or learning hundreds of new words. It comes from action, from opening your mouth and speaking, even when you don't feel good enough. Now imagine this. Each day, you spend just 1 minute speaking English. Just 1 minute. No complicated topics. No need to be perfect. Just talk about something you love. What you ate for breakfast, how you're feeling today, someone you miss, or a movie you recently watched. When you speak about things that matter to you emotionally, the words come out naturally. You're not trying to sound impressive. You're simply being real. And the magic is, the more you speak, the more confident you become. 1 minute may seem short, but repeated every day, the results will surprise you. After a week, your mouth will feel less awkward. After a month, you'll speak more smoothly. And after a few months, you'll realize you can truly communicate. All from a small daily effort that you chose to stick with. English isn't something to just memorize. It's something to live with. It's not a test to pass. It's a new rhythm of life that helps you connect with the world. Make speaking English part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth, drinking water, or stretching. Don't wait until you have time, because there will never be enough time unless you start. And don't wait until you're good at speaking. You only get good by speaking. That's why Kunzy Podcast English exists, to walk with you on this journey. We don't teach in the traditional way. We tell stories. We spark motivation. We share simple strategies that are easy to follow and truly empowering. The people in our stories, like Omar and Sarah, weren't special. They just did one thing right. They spoke. They opened their mouths every day, even when they weren't perfect. And through that persistence, they achieved what once felt impossible. If you find our content helpful, inspiring, or if it simply makes you want to take that first step, hit the like button so we know you're with us. Subscribe so you never miss a new story or speaking tip. And share this video with someone you know who's also struggling with English. You might be the one who inspires their breakthrough. One small share could be the start of someone else's transformation. You are not alone. There are millions of people around the world working to speak English every day. And you, just by speaking 1 minute a day, are joining the ranks of those brave enough to change their lives. Don't wait for inspiration. Don't wait for perfection. Every day, just speak for 1 minute about something you love in English. And soon, you'll never go back to silence. Kunzy Podcast English will be with you every step of the way. Start speaking today and let English take you places you never imagined you could go.